Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Vayishlach, the 8th Torah portion in the book of Bereshit, Genesis, beginning with chapter 32 and verse 4. Vayishlach means, and he sent. As the first verse of our portion reads, and Yaakov sent messengers ahead of him to Esav his brother to the land of Seir, the field of Edom. Generally speaking, as a rule in Torah study, one should first try to understand a section according to the simple meaning, the literal level. Only after a simple exposition can deeper levels be explored, allusion, allegory, and for those on that level of understanding, the secret meaning. But here in our portion of Vayishlach, Torah records an incident which is a total mystery. It is absolutely impossible to interpret it according to any literal meaning. There is no simple meaning. It's one of those incidents in the Torah which defy our understanding, and we have no choice but to recognize that from the outset and immediately pursue other levels of meaning. So open up your heart in the deepest way. After years of self-imposed exile in order to avoid the wrath of his angry brother, Yaakov has left the household of Lavan and is now getting ready for his meeting with Esav. And so he makes specific preparations. He adopts a three-pronged plan consisting of sending a gift, praying for deliverance, and preparing for defensive war if necessary. He formulates this entire strategy, and at night he sends all of his camp across the ford of the Jabok. After he transfers all his family, he winds up being all alone at night on the other side of the stream. And now, all of a sudden, with no introduction, kind of out of nowhere, as Yaakov was left alone, a man is wrestling with him all night long. When the man saw that he could not overcome Yaakov, he struck the socket of his hip, dislocated Yaakov's hip socket. And the wording of the verse makes it sound like, upon seeing that he couldn't prevail against Yaakov with a more conventional move, the aggressor strikes him in the hip socket, and now Yaakov is wounded, limping on his hip. Then, after fighting with Yaakov the whole night, the man says, "Let me go, release me, free me, as it were, because the dawn has broken." What? What's going on here? How do we make sense of any of this? After the assailant wounds Yaakov, he says to me, "Free me, send me on my way." And Yaakov responds, "I won't release you, not because who are you anyway, and why have you been wrestling with me all night long? Not because you're fighting with me and you wounded me grievously. No, I won't let you go unless you bless me. I want your blessing." Are you getting this? So the attacker says, "What's your name?" And he says, "Yaakov." So he says, "No longer shall your name be called Yaakov, but Israel, because you have striven with the divine and with man, and you have overcome." And now Yaakov asks and says, "Now tell me your name." And he said, "Why is it that you asked for my name?" And he blessed him there. So this whole thing is totally incomprehensible. What's going on here? So I need you now to open up your heart in the deepest way and temporarily suspend both your disbelief and your belief. And for the moment, pretend that at this point you don't know anything. And what I mean by that is that everyone is familiar with the idea that this is a description of Yaakov's struggle with an angel. But you can't really know that yet, see, not from a surface reading of these verses. The fact is that Torah here describes this assailant as Ish, a man. A man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. So all we know initially is just that some person attacks Jacob when he's all alone at night and tries to overcome him. Can we ascertain his identity? Maybe. Can we examine the verses and try to understand the story on a simple level? Maybe he's a bandit, a highwayman. At least that makes sense. This figure sees this man who has a huge camp, people, servants, flocks. He must be an important person, a wealthy person. So the attacker lays in wait. And after he's sent everyone else on ahead, when night falls and Yaakov is left all alone and vulnerable, he pounces on him to rob him. Maybe he's got the cash on him. So this fellow struggles with our forefather Yaakov all night long. So far logical? Yaakov defends himself. Well, then comes morning, and this bandit sees he's not winning. So he thinks, if I can't get a knockout, at least I'll land one good hit. And he succeeds in wounding him. And then he says, "Let me go, because dawn has broken?" This makes no sense. And if that wasn't strange enough, what does Yaakov respond? He says, "No, I won't free you until you bless me." So wait, the man who fought against you all night and wounded you, he needs you to free him, and you want his blessings? So, when asked by Yaakov for his blessing, the attacker then asks Yaakov, "What's his name?" So what's going on here? Okay, this is clearly no robber. One doesn't normally ask a robber for his blessings, nor does the robber ask his victim's permission to leave, because dawn has arrived, unless he's afraid of the daylight, because he's afraid of getting caught. So, Immediately after this, the Torah tells us, and Jacob named the place Pniel, for he said, for I have seen the divine face to face, and my soul was saved. So, it was Yaakov who called this a meeting with God, with Elohim, with the divine. He said, I have seen Elohim face to face. So what happened here? And how does one see God face to face? When Hashem told Moshe, no man sees my face and lives. So the prophet Hosea says it as well. In Hosea chapter 12, verses 4 and 5, he talks about it there. He says, in the womb he seized his brother's heel, and with his strength he struggled with an angel of God. He struggled with an angel and prevailed. The angel wept and beseeched him. In Beit El he will find us, and there he will speak with us. These verses in the prophet Hosea describe the encounter and state that it indeed was an angel, that Yaakov fought an angel and prevailed. But the meaning of these verses is elusive. How is it even possible to fight with an angel, let alone win? And what's the meaning of Hosea's words? The angel beseeches him and cries to him, and find us and speak with us in Beit El. Now, Nachmanides, the Ramban's approach throughout Sefer Breshit, is that the entire book of Genesis is symbolic of the future, and that Yaakov's fight with the angel, like other incidents in the patriarch's life, are not about his life per se, not just about Yaakov the man, but about the history of Beit Yaakov, the family of Yaakov, his children, the nation of Israel. According to this understanding, these incidents have two sides. These things indeed happen to these people. But at the same time, the entire book of Genesis is a book of symbols, of signs. As we've learned, as our sages expressed this, Ma'aseh Avot Siman Lebanim. That which the forefathers experienced is a sign for their children. The idea being that if we know to interpret these things correctly, we can gain insight to understand Israel's history. In this light, the struggle with this man can represent Israel's struggle throughout history with all who hate her and come against her throughout the entire duration of the exile, the night. And this parsha guarantees Israel's victory only at dawn, at the time of the redemption, and informs us that in the end it will be good. But the struggle will be difficult, all night long. We'll have a victory at dawn, but we will receive a strike in this battle, a wound in the hip socket. That wound in the hip, representing the mechanism of birth, is an allusion to future generations. On a personal level for Yaakov, it can be seen as foreshadowing the rape of Dinah. On the national level, that hit in the hip can signify that very difficult things will this nation have to go through, torturous times of destruction that will bring the nation very close to extermination, which indeed we have seen. And there are so many levels of meaning. They're all true, each in its way at the same time. But if our parsha is only describing what will transpire in the future, it still doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain Yaakov asking for a blessing. Neither does it explain the exchange about their names. And most perplexing of all, it doesn't explain the angel asking for Yaakov to release him. So with our hearts open, we'll go a little further in now. Another approach is our sages' midrashic teaching that every earthly struggle has a counterpart in heaven, that we human beings here in this world are representative of higher spiritual concepts. The same struggle between Yaakov and Esav on the ground is fought between spiritual forces in heaven. What does it mean when Yaakov described this meeting as, I saw Elohim face to face? Our sages teach that Yaakov's adversary in this fight was indeed Esav's ministering angel. But between us, what does that even mean? Torah is teaching us that the struggle between Yaakov and Esav is not a struggle between two brothers, but something much higher, something spiritual, a struggle between angels, between spiritual forces which precedes the earthly struggle of Yaakov and Esav. Now, this understanding explains Yaakov's perplexing statement, I won't release you until you bless me. Why is Yaakov asking for a bracha from Esav's angel? So the sages enlighten us with the idea, cited by Rashi, that by bless me, Yaakov really means admit to me about the blessings. Yaakov wants to take this opportunity to get confirmation regarding those blessings that he had gotten from Esav through Rivka's plan. Yaakov did what his mother Rivka had told him to do, but as he told her at that time, the tricky way in which he procured the blessings from his father disturbed him, it bothered him. He didn't want his blessings to be the result of a trick. And here, bless me means validate for me that I have earned my father's blessings, that I deserve them. Now, this understanding also somewhat elucidates the rather cryptic verse in Hosea that we cited earlier. The angel wept and beseeched him, in Beit El he will find us, and there he will speak with us. When Yaakov asked for his blessing, basically the angel was responding, leave me alone. You don't need my blessing. When you get to Beit El, Hashem himself will bless you. And that's exactly what happened. But nevertheless, Yaakov wanted the angel's blessing. He wanted that Esav's angel should validate the blessings. He wanted Esav's spiritual source, as it were, to admit that these blessings were rightfully, truly his. But wait, your attention, please. We still don't understand why the angel said, "Free me," why he needs Yaakov to release him, because morning has broken. So now you have to open up your heart deeper than ever before. This is the deepest of the deep. I implore you to open up your heart. Our sages teach that the angel explained to Yaakov, from the time that I was created until this moment, it wasn't yet the right time for me to sing my song. But now, after spending the night with you, now at dawn today, the time has come for me to sing my song. Every angel has a song to sing. I have to sing my song. But Yaakov must have thought, what, just now exactly, after fighting with me the whole night, now you have a song to sing? So what's the concept of the angel's song? It represents the fulfillment of his task. When the angel has accomplished its purpose, the reason for which it was created, it sings its song. Like Hashem is saying, you can sing now that you've finished your job. The song of the angel is on the completion of his mission. This is an idea expressed by our sages that each angel sings his song once in his life. The song is a one-time thing. And in our story, this angel's time has come right now, just at this moment. Why? And what's this really all about? Angels that wrestle with men. What's the mission of the angel that's sent down to wrestle with man? Now, people talk about Hasatan, an adversary sent to test us, and the Yetzer, the evil inclination that's part of our personality and inside each one of us. But these are not evil agents vying with Hashem for control. They were created by Hashem. The mission of these forces is not to fight with men. That's not why Hashem created man's opposing force. Their mission is not to wrestle with man in order to subdue him, open up your heart in the deepest way, but to wrestle with him so that he will win and be victorious over the angel. In other words, and this is so deep, the angel's mission is to fail, to cause the person to be victorious over him. Each of us is perpetually struggling with an angel of God within us, the Yetzer, the evil inclination, who seeks to draw us away from Hashem and away from holiness. But it's not a force of evil. On the contrary, this angel's mission is to cause us to use all our power as we struggle with him, as we learn more and more about ourselves, revealing even greater inner strengths so that we will best him and ultimately win. And in the process, we refine ourselves, we advance higher and higher, becoming ever better, greater people. So the moment of victory for each angel is when he completes his mission and validates his creation. But this type of angel, the one who comes to wrestle with man, when is he victorious? When a person is victorious over him, because his real mission is for us to beat him. So all the while that he's testing you and succeeding and dominating you, he can't sing. Because if he's winning, then his mission has not been fulfilled. His mission is to fail, to be subdued by a person. It's the opposite of mission impossible. It's like your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to fail. And if the moment never comes because he never accomplishes his mission, then he never sings his song. But this is so deep. When the angel fights with Yaakov all night long, and he finally, at dawn, he sees that he can't beat him, he says, let me go, for dawn has broken. Now I can sing my song. My mission has been fulfilled because you won. I fought against you the whole night and didn't succeed, but my mission was for you to win. And now Yaakov for sure wants the angel's blessing. He says, no, I won't let you go until you bless me. Because now he understands everything. Now he's learned about himself. He wants Esav's angels to confirm that his father Yitzchak's blessings were meant for him and rightfully obtained. After wrestling with him the whole night, and now that the angel says he's ready to sing a song, now Yaakov knows more than ever. And thus the angel complies with Yaakov's request. He confirmed for him that the original blessings are his by right. And that is the meaning of, your name will no longer be called Yaakov, but Israel. For you have striven with the divine and with man, and you have overcome. Yaakov's wrestling with the angel serves to remind us of the struggles that each of us face each day and at every moment with our own angels. Forces that test us and help to refine us all through the long night of this world. Our angels want nothing better than to fail. If we are victorious, then we enable our angels to fulfill their purpose and to sing their beautiful song of creation, the song of man's victory. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you enjoy these presentations and benefit from these teachings, please consider helping Jerusalem Lights with your support. Only your support enables these broadcasts to continue and grow.